I could hear the shame in Robert's voice when he told me what happened. He'd just come back from a funeral. One of his oldest friends. Guy he'd known since college. They'd been in each other's weddings. Raised kids together. And Robert was asked to say a few words at the service. He didn't write anything down. Figured he'd speak from the heart. After all, he'd done plenty of eulogies over the years. So he gets up in front of everyone. The whole church is packed. Family. Friends. People who flew in from across the country. And Robert starts talking about his friend. Sharing a story from their college days. But mid-sentence, he goes to say his friend's wife's name. A woman he's known for 40 years. And it was just, gone. He freezes. Tries to keep talking, but he's lost his train of thought entirely now. He's scanning his brain, desperately trying to find her name. Meanwhile the whole church is silent. Staring at him. Waiting. And he just can't recover. He mutters something like, "Sorry, I'm sorry," and sits back down. Didn't finish the story. Didn't finish the eulogy. Just sat there while someone else got up and took over. The widow came up to him afterward. Hugged him. Told him it was okay. That her husband would have understood. And Robert said that moment, her grace, her kindness, somehow made it worse. Because it confirmed what he'd been terrified of. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew something was wrong. My name is Dr. Jesse Ropet. And for the last 15 years, I've worked in cognitive health and brain optimization. I work with people who are terrified they're losing their minds. People like Robert. Sharp, capable people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Who are suddenly blanking on names. Forgetting why they walked into a room. Losing their train of thought mid-sentence. And I used to think this was just normal aging. That's what we're taught in medical school. Your brain slows down. Memory fades. It's inevitable. But when Robert told me his story, when I saw the devastation in his eyes, I knew something else was going on. This wasn't cognitive decline. This was something simpler. And way more fixable. Because right around that time, a groundbreaking study was released. So I dug into the new research. And what I found changed everything I thought I knew about memory loss. Because here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't necessarily cognitive decline. It wasn't in Robert's case. It's not some slow, irreversible decline. What's happening is way simpler. Your brain is literally running out of fuel. Here's what I mean. Your brain is 2% of your body weight, but burns through 20% of your energy. It's a fuel hog. And that fuel? It's called ATP. And when you were younger your brain refueled ATP in milliseconds. So you could pull up a name instantly. No lag. No searching. But as you get older that refueling process takes 2 to 3 seconds. And that's the blank you feel. Your brain's trying to fire the neurons, but it's like cranking a car with a dying battery. Nothing happens. And that's the gap. That 2 to 3 second delay is the blank you feel when you can't pull up a name. Your brain is trying to fire the neurons that hold that memory. But it's like trying to start a car with a dying battery. You're cranking and cranking. But nothing's happening. By the time the fuel regenerates and the neurons finally fire, the moment's passed. You've already fumbled the introduction. Already felt the embarrassment. The damage is done. And here's what makes this so brutal. This isn't happening once in a while. It's happening dozens of times a day. Every time your brain needs to recall a name or follow a detailed conversation. Or remember why you walked into the kitchen. Your brain burns ATP. And if it can't refuel fast enough, you get the blank and the frustration that comes with it. It's not that you're losing your mind. It's that your brain ran out of gas in that exact moment. Think of it like a high-performance computer. All your files are intact. Your hardware's fine. The software in your brain works. But the battery's dying. So everything slows down. Everything gets harder. Not because the machine is broken, but because it doesn't have enough power. Once you understand that, it becomes obvious why nothing you've tried has worked. For example, a lot of my patients tried taking ginkgo biloba. And it does increase blood flow to the brain. Sounds good, right? But blood flow isn't the problem. Your brain's getting plenty of oxygen and glucose. The issue is it can't convert that into usable energy fast enough. It's like turning up water pressure when your hose is full of holes. Then there's fish oil, which is popular because it supports brain structure. And sure, it's great for long-term health. But it's like polishing the body of a car while the engine keeps stalling. And look, I love brain training apps for your neural pathways. But you're training pathways that don't have energy to function under pressure. It's like practicing sprints while exhausted. The skills don't transfer. And of course we can't forget the prescription drug Creatine. Problem is it uses a jellyfish protein that can't even cross into your brain. Every single solution missed the real problem. Your brain's fuel system is too slow. So I started digging deeper. Looking for research that actually addressed the root issue, not just the symptoms. Then in February of 2024 I came across a study published in Nature that made my jaw drop. If you're not familiar, Nature is the Mount Everest of scientific journals. Getting published there means your research survived the most brutal peer review on the planet. Here's what these researchers did. They gave healthy adults a single dose of one compound. Then measured what happened to their brains. Not over weeks or months. Within hours. And what they saw was stunning. Using advanced brain imaging, they watched the brain's energy reserves increase in real time. They measured something called phosphocreatine rising in the brain. That's the backup fuel your neurons store for high-demand moments. They weren't guessing based on surveys or self-reports. They were watching it happen. And the results matched what they saw on the imaging. Better performance during mental fatigue. Faster processing speed. And sharper working memory. All from a single dose. The compound? Creatine monohydrate. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't that the stuff bodybuilders use? Yeah. It's the technically same compound. But here's what most people don't know. Creatine isn't just for muscles. Your brain uses the exact same energy system your muscles do. And while bodybuilders figured out decades ago that creatine helps muscles perform under stress, neuroscientists have been quietly proving it does the same thing for your brain. The research has been there for years. Studies showing creatine improves memory, sharpens focus, and protects cognitive function as you age. Institutions like the Cleveland Clinic acknowledge the benefits of taking creatine for brain health. The mechanism is crystal clear. And the research is published in top-tier journals. Your doctor just hasn't caught up yet. Here's what happens when you take creatine. First it absorbs into your bloodstream, then crosses the blood-brain barrier so your brain can actually use it. This floods into your neurons like premium fuel being pumped into a high-performance engine. Once it's inside, your brain converts it into phosphocreatine, which is like a reserve fuel tank that sits ready for the moment your neurons need a burst of energy. So when you go to pull up a name, or track a conversation, or remember why you walked into a room. Your brain doesn't have to wait 2 to 3 seconds for ATP to regenerate. It pulls from the phosphocreatine reserve instantly. That's why people feel the difference within hours of taking this stuff. Now, creatine alone isn't the complete answer. Because the ATP gap isn't just one issue. There are a cascade of problems that come with it. Slow fuel regeneration, inefficient energy flow, poor communication between neurons, stress hormones damaging your progress, plus long-term protection needs. To address all of that, you need a complete formula. And since there was nothing out there that addressed these root issues, inside MemoryFuel you'll find: first, 5,000 milligrams of creatine monohydrate. This is the foundation, the fuel for your brain. It's what closes that 2 to 3 second gap between when you need a memory, and when your brain can actually access it. Most creatine supplements are dosed for athletes. That's only 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams for muscles. But we included 5,000 milligrams. The dose that actually works for your brain. Next, 200 milligrams of L-theanine. You've got energy now, but if you're stressed, your brain burns through it like a wildfire. L-theanine creates calm focus, helping your neurons fire smoothly instead of burning fuel in a panic. So you're alert but relaxed. Then, 300 milligrams of choline bitartrate. Memories are stored in networks, webs of neurons that need to talk to each other. And they communicate using a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. But as you age, your brain runs out of the raw materials to make it. Choline is that raw material. Flood your system with it, and your memory networks fire faster. Plus, 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Every time you draw a memory blank, your body dumps cortisol into your system. And cortisol wrecks everything. It damages brain cells, kills your sleep, and triggers inflammation. Magnesium regulates that stress response, so cortisol doesn't spike every time you face a cognitive challenge. Also, vitamin D3. Cleveland Clinic research ties adequate D3 levels to a 40% lower risk of cognitive decline. Plus it reduces brain inflammation, supports your brain's immune defenses, and helps regulate neurotransmitter production. Besides, most people over 60 are deficient in vitamin D3 anyway. And finally, vitamin B12. B12 keeps the protective coating on your nerve fibers intact so signals travel fast, helping your mitochondria produce ATP more efficiently. And again, most people over 60 have subclinical B12 deficiency. This tops you off so the whole system runs cleaner. Within hours, the creatine and L-theanine kick in. You notice the first reduction in those memory blanks. Recall feels snappier. Within days, the phosphocreatine stores build up. The choline supports faster neuron communication. Magnesium starts regulating your stress response. You're consistently sharper. That 2 p.m. brain fog starts lifting. Within weeks, D3 reduces inflammation. B12 optimizes efficiency. The whole system's firing on all cylinders. This is when family starts commenting. You seem more like yourself. You're sharper lately. Within months, neural pathways are protected. Cognitive reserve is rebuilding. The fear fades and you start re-engaging in things you'd been avoiding. You feel like you again. Look, this isn't something you have to convince yourself is working. This is measurable and noticeable. I know because I've seen the difference in my patients. And I want you to hear from real people who've experienced this transformation. Not paid actors. Now, we've had over 3,200 people try this formula. And you wanna know the most common thing they tell us? Not my memory improved 23%. Not my processing speed increased. Just, I got myself back. That's it. That's the whole ball game. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. It's 60 days from now. You're at a family gathering, maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's just Sunday dinner, doesn't matter. Your grandson is telling you about his science project. Complex stuff about cellular biology. The kind of thing that would have made your eyes glaze over a few months ago. But instead of nodding along pretending to follow, you're actually engaged. Because something he said triggered a memory from your own career 30 years ago. A relevant story. Complete with names, dates, technical details. And you share it, smoothly. No searching for words. No blanks where a name should be. No hesitation. Your family leans in and they're engaged. Fully present with you. And across the table, your daughter catches your wife's eye. That look. The one that says Dad's really back. That night, lying in bed, something hits you. You haven't had that creeping anxiety about cognitive decline in weeks. You haven't made an excuse to avoid a social situation because you were worried about embarrassing yourself. You haven't felt that horrible flush of shame from forgetting something obvious. Your brain feels like a reliable partner again. Not a traitor. You feel like yourself again. That's not some fantasy I'm painting for you. That's what happens when you close the ATP gap. And here's exactly how you get there. So here's how you can get this for yourself. If you bought these 6 ingredients separately, at the doses that actually work for your brain, you'd spend over $100 per month. Plus you'd be taking 6 different pills. Hoping you got the timing right. Praying there's no weird interactions. MemoryFuel gives you everything in one formula. Clinical doses. Research-backed ingredients. Pharmaceutical grade standards. At a fraction of that cost. The normal retail price is $89 per month. And honestly, that's more than fair when you consider what you're getting. But I remember what it's like to be desperate, skeptical, and worried about throwing more money away on another solution that won't work. I remember people telling me they'd spent hundreds on previous again and felt like fools when it did nothing. So here's what we've decided to do. For people watching this presentation, we're making MemoryFuel available for just $49 per bottle. That's $40 off the normal retail price, which is less than a cup of coffee per day. But here's where it gets even better with our package options. But here's the most important part. Our 90-day Feel Sharper or It's Free money-back guarantee. Try MemoryFuel for a full 90 days. If you're not experiencing faster recall, reduced brain fog, better conversation tracking, more confidence in social situations, if you're not feeling like yourself again, contact our customer service team and we'll refund every single penny. No questions asked. No hassles. Heck, you can even keep the bottles. But why 90 days instead of the typical 30 or 60? Because I want you to experience the full transformation before you decide. By day 30, you'll notice real changes. By day 60, your family will comment on how sharp you seem. By day 90, you'll wonder how you ever lived without this. So here's what it comes down to. The real risk. But if you don't try this, you're risking another year of blanking on names. Another year of your kids exchanging that look when you lose your train of thought. Another year wondering if this is just how it's gonna be from now on. So here's where we are. You've got two paths in front of you. Path 1. Do nothing. Keep experiencing those terrifying blanks. Keep avoiding social situations because you're afraid of embarrassing yourself. Keep lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering if this is early cognitive decline. Watch your family continue to see you fade. Path 2. Try MemoryFuel completely risk-free for 90 days. Risk nothing with the guarantee, but gain the possibility of getting yourself back. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've tried so much already. Previous again. Ginkgo. Brain games. All of it. I get it. But here's what all of those things have in common. They were treating symptoms. None of them touched the actual problem, ATP regeneration. MemoryFuel targets the root cause. The 2024 Nature study proved it. The Cleveland Clinic acknowledges it. And over 3,200 real people have experienced it. Here's what you need to understand. The ATP gap is widening every single day you wait. The cognitive flexibility you have right now, today, is the most you'll ever have. This isn't about our inventory. This is about your window of opportunity. And that window is closing. The best time to close your ATP gap was 5 years ago. The second best time is right now. Click the button below to choose your package. I recommend the 3-month supply for the complete transformation cycle. Or the 6-month supply for maximum savings and long-term protection. We'll rush it to your door with fast shipping. And remember, you're protected by our 90-day satisfaction guarantee. You're not risking anything. But you stand to gain everything. Your sharp mind. Your confidence. Your independence. Yourself. Don't let another day go by feeling like you're disappearing. Don't let another embarrassing blank chip away at who you are. Don't let fear about cognitive decline steal one more night of sleep. The solution is here. The research is solid. The choice is yours. Click the button below now. Our customers say, based on 3,247 plus reviews, get the best results. Based on result of over 3,247 plus customers, expect these amazing results. Frequently asked questions. How long does it take to feel a difference? Most people notice improvements within the first few hours. You might find yourself recalling names faster, experiencing less afternoon brain fog, or tracking conversations more easily. But the full transformation happens over 60 to 90 days as your brain's energy systems fully optimize. That's why we offer a 90-day guarantee instead of the typical 30 or 60. We want you to experience the complete results before you decide. I've tried previous again, ginkgo, fish oil, and brain training apps. How is this different? Simple. Those products were treating symptoms, blood flow, brain structure, neural pathways. MemoryFuel targets the root cause, ATP regeneration in your brain cells. It's the difference between putting a band-aid on a broken bone, versus actually setting the bone so it can heal properly. The 2024 Nature study proved that creatine supplementation directly increases brain ATP levels by 5 to 15%. That's measurable energy production, not some vague support claim. Is this safe to take with my other medications? MemoryFuel contains natural, research-backed ingredients that are generally recognized as safe. However, we always recommend consulting with your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you're taking prescription medications or have underlying health conditions. Your doctor can review the ingredient list and confirm there are no interactions with your specific medications. Then you get every penny back. No questions asked. You have a full 90 days to try MemoryFuel risk-free. If you're not experiencing sharper recall, reduced brain fog, and improved mental clarity, just contact our customer service team. We'll refund your entire purchase. You can even keep the bottles. We're not interested in keeping money from people who didn't get results. We only win if you win. Here's the honest answer. Your brain's energy demands don't go away. The ATP gap is a chronic issue that gets worse with age if left unaddressed. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth for 90 days and then stop, because your teeth are fixed. You keep brushing because you want to maintain healthy teeth. Same principle here. Most of our customers stay on MemoryFuel long term because they never want to go back to how they felt before. The mental clarity, the confidence, the feeling of being themselves again, that's worth maintaining. But you're not locked into anything. There's no subscription, no automatic charges. You order when you want, how much you want. Because the connection between creatine and brain ATP wasn't definitively proven until the 2024 Nature study. Before that, creatine was mostly known as a muscle supplement for bodybuilders. Most people, including doctors, had no idea it could cross the blood-brain barrier and regenerate cognitive energy. The research is still relatively new, which means you're getting in early on a scientifically validated solution before it becomes mainstream. Can I just take regular creatine from the gym? You could, but you'd be missing 5 critical ingredients that work synergistically with creatine to maximize brain ATP production. Plus, most creatine supplements are formulated for muscle energy, not brain energy. The dosing, the delivery mechanism, the supporting ingredients, none of it is optimized for cognitive function. MemoryFuel was specifically designed for brain ATP regeneration. Every ingredient, every dose, every ratio. It's the difference between using a butter knife to perform surgery, versus using an actual scalpel designed for the job. 90-day money-back guarantee. Period. Try it for the full 90 days. If you're not satisfied for any reason, contact us. We'll refund your purchase in full. No forms to fill out. No hoops to jump through. No restocking fees or other sneaky charges. Just a simple, straightforward refund. Take 1 scoop daily with water, preferably with a meal. For best results, take it consistently at the same time each day. Morning is ideal for most people since you'll benefit from the mental clarity throughout the day. MemoryFuel is made with natural, research-backed ingredients that are generally well tolerated. Some people report mild digestive upset when first starting, which usually resolves within a few days. Taking it with food can help minimize this. Creatine can cause slight water retention in some people, which is completely normal and harmless. As with any supplement, if you experience any unusual symptoms, discontinue use and consult your healthcare provider. Life happens. Don't stress about it. For best results, try to take it consistently. But if you miss a day here and there, just resume your normal schedule the next day. The benefits are cumulative over time, so occasional missed doses won't undo your progress. Honestly, you shouldn't. Not yet. You should trust the research. The 2024 Nature study. The Cleveland Clinic findings. The 3,200 plus customers who've experienced real results. And most importantly, you should trust our 90-day money-back guarantee. We're not asking you to trust us and hope for the best. We're asking you to try it, risk-free, and let the results speak for themselves. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you get your money back. Simple as that. Wait, this takes 30 seconds and costs $0. We created a memory supercharger audio, worth $47, to help your brain lock in information faster. Reduce that mental blank feeling. Feel clearer and more alert, even on low energy days. Listen once and feel the shift. 2026